I treated myself to this unusual looking tarot secondhand on eBay the other day. It's the Sparrow tarot. It's illustrated by Joe Sparrow, and it says Law Under Love, which I guess comes from Aleister Crowley. It's a 79 card deck. It includes both major and minor arcana. I was interested because it has an unusual format. Look, the cards are a bit square and they're a bit big. Look, there you go. So it's bigger and fatter than standard tarot size. And I like fat cards. At least I think I do. And I was also attracted to the images, just to give you a flash of the images. They're very unusual. I like the color palette and so forth. And I thought, that's amazing. I've never really seen anything like that. I have to see it in the flesh at first hand, because it's never quite the same online. And cut a long story short, I'm not sure I like it. I think I will almost definitely not work with it and will sell it on eBay. So I'll give you a flip through, and if you don't want to hear my misgivings about it, you can just turn the volume down, okay? Here are the 3 free cards you get. This is the title card, and I suppose that's another second title card, and I suppose that's maybe the 79th card of the deck. All very mysterious, and that's the back. So let's flip through, and I'll try not to be unnecessarily grumpy. Actually, I will start by telling you how the deck is sort of conceptualized, because that's where my misgivings start. So, Major Arcana, there you see you've just got a number up there, and you've got nothing in any of the corners. The 4 suits, here are the 4 aces. You've got a 1, a 1, a 1, a 1 in the corner, and then you've got, I think rather unsuccessfully, you've got little invented symbols for the suits. So that's batons, I suppose that's a club, that's a cup, fair enough, that's a sword, bit strange, and that's a pentacle, fair enough. So I find the batons and the swords not immediately recognizable as batons or swords. But let's start with the majors. And okay, the first thing I noticed when I got the deck was that the line work, I guess it's made on a computer, is fuzzy, okay? I'll go as close as I can. You see these lines? There aren't any clean lines in the whole production, not one. And when you see it online, you think, oh, those are just lines. They must be just out of focus. When I get the deck, it'll be more in focus. But alas, when you get the deck, it's still out of focus, in a sense. Do you know what I mean? Not really out of focus, but it's fuzzy. And okay, that's the first alarm bell. So a nice fool, and the magician, I guess he's a bit like the Magician's Apprentice. It's all fine. Or is it all fine? In a sense, these characters, they all look like the fool to me. They all look foolish. And that's going to be one of my grouches about this deck. They're sort of coy, cutesy, and foolish. High Priestess. Do you see what I mean by it? It's in the genre of cute, isn't it? Which is a modern genre, clearly. I mean, if you go back 20 or 30 years, cute was not a genre. So they're either cute or they're just nasty. Male characters tend to be nasty, female characters tend to be cute. So there we got the first nasty character, the Emperor, and another one, the Pope, seems to be levitating, quite right too. What I notice is that so far the designs are quite formally traditional, in a sense that you have figures in a landscape. I've just turned to the next card and that's gone out the window. So the Chariot is a guy in a space module, and we've already got into this sort of comic strip style framing, which is stylish and it's fine. But for me, it's going to put me off the tarot as we go on. Again, that's a formally coherent tarot card for me. That could be fine. If they were all like that, I would like the deck. Yeah, a disastrous hermit who seems to be just someone playing video games while everyone else lives their life. A disastrous wheel of fortune with no wheel. And it's beginning to get filmic, do you know what I mean? And you can be filmic, but take care. And then it gets sort of super filmic so that it becomes quite difficult to read the images. This is a cute, strong girl facing a monster who is all mouth, teeth, and I suppose eyes. Sometimes you have to move the card around before you can actually see what's going on. Hanged Man, quite nice. Death, not bad if you like that sort of thing. Acute Temperance. A very weird devil. I quite like the Tower. Then there's a question of how much dystopia do you want in your tarot? Do you want brown skies and pylons when you're thinking about the star? Probably not, in my opinion. And then I think this is an example of how this tarot begins to become unusable. This is a nice image. It's the moon reflected in a pool of water with a drop of rain perhaps dripping from a leaf. But the moon is not really the subject of the card, is it? And there you go. I don't think I could read with a deck that contained that card. It's just taste. It's too retarded. So yeah, this is all too cute for me and too... It's a combination of cute and FU. An Ace of Battens, fine, but it looks exactly like the Fool. And the Ace of Battens isn't about someone going hiking in the mountains. It's an ace. A Two of Battens, and so now the tarot. Now I'm really parting company with the tarot because I don't know what the connection between that and the Two of Battens is. I mean, you can write in and tell me, but if I can't work it out for myself, and if I can't see it, I'm obviously not going to read with this deck. Also, I think, as I say, things are now getting filmic. This is a tarot style composition with a figure in a frame. This is not. This is filmic. This is comic strip. The Three of Battens. And here's another quite serious grouch with this deck, is that you don't see battens in the suit of battens. Look, there's a batten. There are pencils there. There are actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pencils, so whatever. And I don't see a batten there at all. It may be some capitalist, I suppose. But that's quite strange. The Four of Battens has become a nighttime scene. Not bad. Yeah. I'm very out of sympathy with the emotional temperature of the deck. I mean, if this is the victory card, then I don't think that's a charming image of a victorious person. I think it's an image of someone who is self-serving. That's quite good, Seven of Battens. But you'll notice that the battens keep changing shape, and you get this in some tarot decks. I suppose here we're meant to see 6 battens in the microphones. And the battens there become rockets, fair enough. And there they become guns. I quite like that image, actually. And that is actually a tarot image. But the problem with that is, Page of Battens, there's no baton. There is a flame. The Knight of Battens, symbolized by a C here, I suppose that means Chevalier. The Queen of Battens, a complete misunderstanding of the Queen there, a nighttime witch with a cat. And the King of Battens, yeah, if you like that sort of thing. Maybe I should say less. You should just enjoy these cards. You might be loving it. There's an Ace of Cups. There's a Two of Cups. Again, my problem is that it's all very clever, but it's so filmic that I actually don't see those two figures. I just see patterns. And the depiction of the faces is so stylized that it doesn't really, they don't feel human. They don't feel like people wearing expressions. They feel like hieroglyphics, which is fine, but hieroglyphics of what? That looks like mania. It doesn't look like friendship or cooperation. That would be a great Three of Cups if it had any cups. Four of Cups. Again, I question whether that is a representation of the meaning of the Four of Cups. Five of Cups, very nice. Six of Cups, fair enough. Seven of Cups, fair enough. Eight of Cups, a bit weird. Again, you have to ask yourself whether you find that figure charming or or even bearable. Nine of Cups. I don't know what the connection between that and the Nine of Cups is. Ten of Cups. A lone figure in the Ten of Cups. Page of Cups. Again, this would be a strong reason for me not to work with this deck. The page is about to be eaten by the fish in the cup. Maybe the theme of the modern world, maybe the theme of the modern age is nightmarish hallucination. Maybe this is the modern deck par excellence. A Knight of Cups who actually has a cup. Riding a seahorse, very nice. A horrendous Queen of Cups, having a nervous breakdown on the beach and about to be eaten by a sea monster. And a King of Cups, completely dehumanized, apparently on an iceberg in the ocean. I mean, the thing is that you can see with me, I go either way. I get excited, I get enthusiastic, I love it to death. And when I'm disappointed, I'm really disappointed. I'm trying to tone it down today, my disappointment, but I'm not doing very well, am I? There's the Ace of Swords. It's apparently a guillotine, which seems a bit harsh. That's quite a clever Two of Swords, isn't it? With those two blades. Three of Swords, problem. Don't like the close-up. Four of Swords. Don't understand what that's got to do with the Four of Swords. Five of Swords. Doesn't look like a defeat to me. It looks like a bit of heroism. Six of Swords. That's quite nice. Can't see the swords, but I like it. Seven of Swords. I sometimes think that designers get confused and there's sort of one of the card meanings just jumps from one card to the other. I've seen it in other decks. That does not look like a sword image. It looks like the Seven of Pentacles, doesn't it? Eight of Swords, fair enough. Nine of Swords, nice. I mean, if you can put up with that amount of, you know, energy in a card. But I think about half these cards contain images which could have belonged to a deck which I would have liked and read with. I think the Ten of Swords is just incredibly unpleasant. It's not even a human being. It seems to be a frog being vivisected. I would suggest that a tarot needs to know whether it's about human beings or animals and make its decision. Page of Swords. And then you got a problem with scale here. I mean, are these people all fairies? Are they all imps? What size are these people? This Knight of Swords seems to be riding a dragonfly, which is, I don't know. It doesn't even look like a person either. It looks like a spook. Queen of Swords reading a book, very good. King of Swords, I've made a short about this. I can't stand that one. The guy wagging his finger and mouthing off like he knows best. He's a judgmental person, isn't he? He's not a judge. He's not a peacemaker. He's a judgmental person, so he's bad. And he looks like he has money, so he must be bad. Okay. Let's do the Pentacles. I mean, that's a classic tarot image, isn't it? Even though it's a bit horror. It looks like a zombie coming out of the earth, but quite coherent in a way. The Two of Pentacles, juggling, good. The Three of Pentacles. I think that's quite a good image, even though I don't like these close-ups. The Four of Pentacles, I would say that's more the Nine of Cups. The Four of Pentacles is probably more someone who doesn't spend their money at all, actually. And again, you've got this thing of, is that a person or a frog? Five of Pentacles, quite nice. Six of Pentacles looks like the Seven of Pentacles, doesn't it? This tree with pentacles on it. Seven of Pentacles, they've turned into CDs to scare off the crows. Fair enough. Eight of Pentacles. The person is cranking something out. Fair enough. Nine of Pentacles seems to have drifted a long way from the RWS Nine of Pentacles. And this is an RWS deck, let's be fair. It seems to look very like a world card to me, which is a strange sort of bleeding of meaning from one card to the other. And the Ten of Pentacles, quite right and proper, it is the Tree of Life. The Page of Pentacles, I think this is a misunderstanding. I mean, the guy's got a quotation from Crowley on the front of the deck. I don't think Pentacles were intended to be full-on magical symbols. I think they are more element of earth for Pamela Coleman-Smith. The Knight of Pentacles, again, we've got a scale thing. He seems to be riding a toad and frowning. And so if you find the Knight of Pentacles a positive symbol, that's going to be quite a difficult card to deal with. Queen of Pentacles with her bunny, nice. And then we're coming to my other unfavourite card, the King of Pentacles, like an upside down fiend grinning over his pile of his money piles, and he's got horns as well, so he's actually the devil. Another leaked bit of meaning. I don't think the King of Pentacles is you know, a money monster at all. I think that's a bit crazy. I don't think he's a vampire. I think he's quite a benevolent archetype. So that's the Sparrow Tarot. Didn't work for me, might work for you. I'm Robert Farah, this is Tea and Tarot, and I'll be back next week with more of this stuff. Bye.